I'm Darren,
I'm Derek,
and
and
this
this
is
is
the
the
Double D
Double D
podcast.
podcast. I
What
hope
the
we
heck
said
are
that.
you doing?
What do you mean?
You're lagging.
I think you were lagging.
Oh,
We might have to change the way that we do our intro now because we're doing it virtually.
maybe.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out. This is a trial run. We're trying to figure this out, you know?
Yeah,
So as you guys can see, we are in different locations for the first time ever doing a podcast. How does that feel?
it's weird.
It is weird, isn't it? I'm not
Yep.
sure we're going to continue to do it this way, but we're trying it out. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it'll work.
It works with you mainly because you have such a busy schedule.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get right into it, right?
Oh, yeah. Get the
As you guys
reason
can
we're
see,
here.
that's right. As you can see at the bottom, a little ticker that's going across. We're going to be talking about the Clarksville Chaos show
You
that took
cut out
place
for a
not
minute
too long
there.
ago. Did I?
Yeah. It
Oh, well,
went
that's going to
deep.
be. Could you still hear me?
It went
Oh,
deep.
geez, this is gonna be fun. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about Clarksville Chaos. Hopefully, that
Yes.
doesn't happen too often.
As long as I don't
Um,
go doop.
Yeah. Yeah. That happened April 19th at the Vernon Township Hall. It's the second time we've been there.
Wow, that
What
was
did you
so
think of
long
the
ago.
show? Yeah, it's almost a month ago now.
Well, I thought it was a pretty good show. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was great. Crowd was great. It was WrestleMania weekend, so it was a smaller, intimate crowd. But you know
Yeah.
what? The people who were there did care about the show, and they were into it.
Oh, yeah. They were being real loud.
I see that I cut out again.
Yeah.
Jeez, this is gonna be a problem. You haven't cut out once. What the hell is the deal with that?
Maybe I just got good high speed internet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right next to my router, so it's as fast as it gets. Well, if I see myself cut out, I'll try to, stop talking. But I
You mean
talk a
like
lot,
that?
so like that, like that. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I ain't touching it.
No, it worked. As soon as you said it cut out. That was pretty funny. But hey, if I'm ready, you're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. If I said if I'm ready, you're ready. I meant if you're ready, I'm ready. That's what I
No,
meant to
I
say.
was gonna say, okay, let's go.
But all right, I am ready. Let's talk about it. So the match, or the show rather, kicked off with tag team action. The belts were supposed to be on the line between the Dungeon and a team named DNA. DNA did not hurt one of the or did not show up because one of the members did get hurt. So the Dungeon was looking for replacements, and those two replacements are actually the most unlikely people that I would have never thought these two would be on a team again, let
Yeah, me.
alone fighting for the titles. They're an old tag team. They had a falling out. They were kind of, they never did face each other, but I do remember one arguing with the other and blaming the other about their tag team problems. And that, of course, is former Army of Destiny members Sergeant Ledbetter and King Bomani. They came out to answer the challenge. Darren, what did you think about that?
I thought it was pretty odd. Seeing those two finally come out together again, but on the other side, it was a little odd. I did not expect it.
I
That's
mean,
for
I would
sure.
have never would have thought in a million years that we'd see them as a tag team again. But hey, here we are. Their paths have they went different ways, but they're on the same side in a weird way. Like
Maybe
we, I mean,
just maybe
yeah,
just maybe this is Ledbetter's way of getting his gang back.
yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, Ledbetter's kind of been on a slide recently, coming into this matchup with some losses. He did have a win over Andrew Williams, but before that, he had some losses. So maybe this is his way of reconnecting with. And Bomani has an attitude change since they were a team as well. So they're
Yep.
both fan favorites now, and they play by the rules, which is not what the Army of Destiny used to do.
Nope. The Army of Destiny was turds.
And what's ironic about that is that on the other side of the ring from Bomani and Ledbetter, God bless,
Thank you.
is Kyle Craven, who
Yep.
is a former Army of Destiny member. So of the four people in this match, three of them are Army of Destiny members.
Yeah, it was super weird.
And then Adam Rorges, who was there, he kind of stepped in as Kyle Craven's new team after the Army of Destiny broke up. So he's kind of the odd man out. But there's a lot of history between three of the four members of this team. The match was great, a lot of back and forth action. There were moments where I thought well, I'm just going to call them Army of Destiny for the ease of the argument instead of saying both of their names. Army of Destiny was very close to winning multiple times. So was the Dungeon. However, nobody technically won this match at all
Nope.
because they fought all the way to the back in the
Yep.
backstage area, and it caused all of our security guards, including myself, we had to run back there and break it up. They fought out of the building. So a little behind the scenes here, where the locker room was. As soon as you walk to the locker room to the right, there was a door that led you to the outside. They fought to the outside and were on the outside of the building. We had to separate them. It was getting really dramatic.
And we're back. Oh.
We're back, maybe, or we've been here the whole time. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
Either
one of the
way,
two.
yeah. Either way, they did fight all the way to the back, out of the arena. We had to separate them. Dungeon got in, and we thought they got in their cars. We ended up seeing them a little bit later on. We thought that they got in their car and drove away. I mean, they must have circled around and just waited, but
Yep.
uh, eventually they did get separated. It was a double count out, so of course title doesn't change hands. There's no official winner. It's a double count out. So let's talk about this, Darren. What do you think? Do you think this is the last time that we'll see Bomani and Ledbetter teaming together?
No, I can see them being a tag team in the future. They just work so well together. They did when they were Army of Destiny, and they do now. It's just different sides of the table.
Yeah, exactly. They just changed their outlook on abiding by the rules.
Yeah, but they still have
And
that. They still have that tag team connection, which I think could get them actually pretty far if they keep to it.
oh, absolutely. And this is. I mean, the Dungeon have been a dominant tag team for a while now. I mean, and they're great champions. But if there's a team, I mean, there's a team here who could beat them, it would be Ledbetter and Bomani. I mean, he is a former tag team champion with Eric Surge. So,
Oh, 100%. They could
I
easily get.
mean, and that's the thing too. Like Bomani wasn't there. I think that's part of the reason why Sergeant Ledbetter chose Bomani. If that's how that worked, I don't really know how that worked. But if that is how it worked, where Ledbetter went to, or maybe Bomani even chose Ledbetter because Bomani has unfinished business with the Dungeon. So,
Yep.
I mean, I don't think this is the last time that we'll see these four face off in a ring.
No, I highly doubt this will be the last time.
Yeah. So next up on the list, I'm looking at my list over here. We have Lucy B. Sweet taking on Steffi Mack. Now, Steffi Mack, to my knowledge, made her BOTB debut in Milan back at Milan Madness. Lucy B. Sweet's been around for a while. Those two. Lucy B. Sweet's not making a whole lot of friends.
Nope.
And Steffi Mack is also not here really. I mean, I don't really think she's here to make friends either. I think she's here to try to win some titles.
I'll tell you what, though, she's got a pretty cool entrance.
Dude, she is good with the hula hoop.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, we didn't really get to see it in Milan Madness because it was such a quick entrance. But she showed up in this, and she was just, I mean, I couldn't do that with the hula hoop. I'll tell you that right now. And it blew, the lights went off, and it was glow up, and she was doing all sorts of tricks. I mean, that alone right there is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely nice. Definitely a nice, cool entrance.
Sets you apart.
Yes. 100%. I've never seen it before.
I've never seen anybody do anything close to that. This was a match that, I mean, this matchup does stem from Milan Madness. These two ran into each other in that battle royal that Paris McQueen won, and under controversial terms, which we'll, get to later. But either way, this matchup was a great match. A lot of back and forth between these two. Lucy B. Sweet and Steffi Mack do not like each other.
Absolutely not.
One thing about Steffi Mack, well, here's the thing. So Lucy B. Sweet had Andrew Williams on the outside of the ring with her, so that's always a wild card. You never know how that's going to work. And Steffi Mack, she's very strong.
Yes, she is
she's
very strong.
Powerful lady, so that is a plus to her. And she did not let Andrew Williams distract her at all during this matchup, and she was able to get the victory over Lucy B. Sweet. So Steffi Mack takes a victory in this one. Again, it was a great matchup, a lot of back and forth in it. Lucy B. Sweet could have won a couple times, but Steffi Mack ends up pulling out the victory. So I feel like we always ask ourselves this question, but what do you think is next for Lucy B. Sweet? She's on a little bit of a losing streak here.
I think she's going to do a little bit more work climbing up.
And she's going to have to, right?
I've got a feeling that she's going to get it. She's going to climb. I have a feeling she's going to climb pretty quick. So the mother ladies might want to be a little nervous.
Well, and here's the thing: if Andrew Williams wasn't out there doing some of the stuff he's done in the past, like upsetting the biggest person on the roster, maybe she wouldn't have to be so distracted by Andrew Williams.
Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of the reverse of Paris McQueen and Talboy. Like a lot of the times I find myself saying Talboy needs to get away from Paris. Well, he's not called Talboy anymore. Austin Elm. Sorry.
No, get it right.
Austin Elm needs to get away from Paris McQueen. In this one, it's like maybe Lucy B. Sweet to try to get away from Andrew Williams because he's not making himself any friends either.
No, he's not. He's not making it any easier because then she's got to worry about her match. Plus, what's he doing?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, in the back of his mind, he has to be wondering whether or not Paxton is going to be running out and attacking him
Squashing
because
him.
of what
Like
happened in
blood.
Milan. Right. So, I mean, I'm sure that didn't help matters any. But like you said, Lucy B. Sweet is very talented. So she has the ability. She just has to get some wins, but she's
Yep.
going to have to get them quick because slowly but surely she's starting to fall down the rankings. I mean, I think the last time that I remember her winning, and I could be wrong here, and if we are, let us know in the comments, but I think the last time she won was a match against Bashley Bones almost a year ago now.
Yeah, I think so.
So, and the women's division's stacked, and it's only increasing with the additions of someone like Missy King or my girlfriend Angela. Like, there's more women now than ever in the roster, so you have to get wins.
And you still got one at the top. That's I can say. Well, she like you can't just say she is. She is the women's champion. It's Paris McQueen. She's going to be a hard one to take down.
Yeah,
She's going to be
absolutely.
tough. So
And then you have Shauna Reed's not gonna forget that she lost the title.
no, absolutely
Yeah.
not. She's going to work her way up as fast as she can. She was
Yeah.
once at the top. She got knocked down. Bet she's going to be going up for blood.
No, yeah, absolutely. So, and then for Steffi Mack, hey, big win for her.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Lucy B. Sweet might be on a little bit of a losing streak here, she's still very talented and capable of
Yep.
winning. So, and as a newcomer coming in and getting a win, that's a huge plus. So she's moving on
That's
up the rankings.
I would say that's the way up. Losing is not the way up.
No, no, it's not the way up, not at all. And we'll see. I mean, hey, like I said, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of. I like to think of even though wrestling isn't in seasons, I like to think of each year as its own season. So if I say the words, there's a lot of room left this year. I'm kind of using that as like, if she gets a couple wins, we have a lot of shows coming up. If she gets some
Mm-hmm.
wins under her belt by the end of the year, she might be in line for a title shot. Who knows? Same with Stephanie Mack. So
I'd say if they win 3 consecutive, they should be up for a title shot.
yeah, well, that's possible. It's hard to get 3 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if they
You
get
know?
up there to 3 consecutive wins, then I'm pretty sure they deserve to go for a title.
Yeah,
Because I
absolutely,
mean that
absolutely.
would mean they're on fire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not real sure how
Anything?
that works, but
I don't know either. Anything else that you have to add to this match before we move on?
nope.
Okay, next up we have Carson Drake. Just
Woohoo!
as a refresher, did beat Paxton Calloway for the title back at Milan Madness. There was a lot of madness going on. Paris McQueen, Austin Elm, Andrew Williams, Lucy B. Sweet all came to the aid of Carson Drake in order for him to win. But nonetheless, he is the champion. I do believe that he was supposed to wrestle somebody else going into this show. However, that person did not show up. I could be wrong about that. Again, it's been a while since this show's happened, but I do know that he came out and said if there's anybody in the locker room who wants to challenge for the BOTB heavyweight title, you are more than welcome to come out here and I'll beat you really quick, is basically what he said. And one of the more unlikely names, someone who I would have not guessed would come out, did, and that would be TJ Fury. Darren, what was your reaction to TJ Fury answering this challenge?
I was thinking, there's no way this is going to happen. There's Carson Drake is going to leave. He had that look on his
Well,
face, like, "What the hell am I doing here?"
he
When
did
TJ
have that
Fury
look.
came out of that locker room.
He honestly did have that look, and that's no. I mean, this is not us disrespecting TJ. That's
No, that's
that's
just him.
just how Carson is.
Now, little does he know that TJ Fury has every ability to beat him.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. You're right. And TJ Carson actually said he was going to go back to an airport and get the hell out of there so TJ didn't get hurt. He was trying to give TJ an out, but and
Mhm.
I quote, TJ called him a pussy. Now, I don't
Yep.
use those words normally because this is I usually like to keep this a family friendly channel, but if you were at the show, that's what was said. So I'm just
Well,
calling it how I seen it.
he
And of
got to
course,
the
Carson
point
didn't like that.
where there was no way that he was going to wrestle TJ Fury.
No, I mean he was on his
Not a
way out.
chance.
He had one.
Yep.
He had, I believe, if I remember right, he was out of the ring or at least had 1 foot out of the ring.
Oh yeah, he was on his way out the ring.
Yeah, so he was out of there, but TJ ran the mouth and that got him back in there, which is what TJ wanted. So I'm
Yep.
good on TJ. He got what he wanted. He got the match. And it was a good match. Carson kind of dominated early, and it looked like it was going to be over pretty quick. And
Yep.
TJ kicked it into gear. He was starting to find his rhythm. He started firing back, and it looked like TJ was going to win a couple times. It looked like we were going to have a massive upset. TJ Fury beating Carson Drake, and that's what you know. I assumed. I mean, I couldn't even imagine what was going to happen. However, Carson Drake did get the I cut out, so I waited. But afterwards, boy, was there a whole bunch of shenanigans going on because Carson and Drake, of course, underhanded tactics, using titles, distracting referees, all this stuff happens. But then afterwards, there was a whole bunch that's going on. So I'm going to try to recap this to the best of my ability. If I get some details wrong, I apologize. It was a melee. There was madness going on. I had to get in there and break it up. So my adrenaline was pumping. So Darren, if you know I'm wrong, please check me. But I think if I remember what happened was as follows. Carson Drake started to attack TJ Fury after the match.
Yep.
TJ Fury's dad, who is a former pro wrestler, slid into the ring, started to attack Carson. At that moment, that's when the dungeon emerged from the locker room and attacked TJ and his father. We thought the dungeon had left. I seen him get into a car and speed off. Like I said, they must have circled the block and came back. They hit the ring and are attacking those two. Then, out of nowhere, Ledbetter and Bomani slide into the ring, and it is an all-out melee.
Yep.
It is 4-on-4 violence. There's bodies everywhere, people getting hit. I don't know what's going on. At some point, eventually, Carson and the dungeon are on the outside of the ring. Was there one more? Was there one more
It was Carson,
person?
the dungeon. I thought there was a girl there too, but I could be wrong. Was Shauna Reed there too?
No, Shauna Reed wasn't a part of this.
She wasn't. Hell, I
Trying
can't
to
remember.
think.
I thought there was a girl there too, but I can't remember.
That might have been who. That might have been who was on the out. Maybe Andrew Williams. I don't know. I don't think he was there. But if I'm getting this wrong, let me know. But inside of the ring, I do know for a fact was TJ, Bomani,
Mhm.
Ledbetter, TJ's father, and Bomani said, "Hey, you know what? If you want to do this right now, get in this ring, and we'll fight right now." Of course, the crowd wants it, and they give the mic to Carson because Bomani said, "I'll let the champion speak for the group." And again, I don't like to use language like this, and I apologize if you have kids that are watching, please cuff their ears for at least the next 30 seconds. But and I quote Carson said, "Fuck no," and he walks away,
Which
and
I kind of
the
figured that was
melee
going
is
to be a
over.
response.
I thought that would be the response, also, just not as uh, aggressive as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that was he might have taken it a little too far there.
He felt like it wasn't worth his time to be able to wrestle them. That
Well,
or
and of
maybe he
course,
was just scared to wrestle him.
and listen, here's the thing: Bomani and Ledbetter and TJ, they all knew. And maybe Avery, was it Avery that was out there also?
Yeah, Avery Hertz was out there.
That just randomly hit my
Yeah.
brain. So
For
Avery
some
Hurst
reason,
is
I was
involved
thinking
in
it was a
this as
girl.
well.
No, it was Avery.
That's rude of you to think Avery was a girl, and I'm sure he's
Well, my
watching and is
bad. I
gonna
can't
beat your
remember.
ass.
I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Yeah. Well, either way, so the point is that of course Carson was going to say no. Why would they say yes? Carson already wrestled.
Hmm.
Avery has a match later. The Dungeon already wrestled. They're not going to say yes. And I think Bomani and everyone in that knew that they were going to say no. But you have to imagine that Denham's listening to this, and I have a feeling that a match of this magnitude could potentially happen in the future. And if it does, I mean, I, who do you have in that one? I mean, think of the teams here. You have TJ, his father, if he's going to be a part of this. Um, Bomani and Ledbetter against the Dungeon, Avery, and Carson. I mean,
At least,
how do you even pick?
at least they both have two smaller people, two zero gravity. You got two heavyweights or four heavyweights, or
Yeah,
yeah, four heavyweight. No,
I don't know. It's too hard to do the math.
it's pretty even though. You got
It
two.
is
I know
even.
you have two zero gravity and a bunch of big dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's an even melee here. And again, I don't know who or how if this will happen, but I do know this. At least you have the people out there who and their champion counterparts.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of I think what we'll see in the future more than like the 4-on-4 melee. You're going to see is you had the Army of Destiny out there for the dungeon. TJ's out there for Avery or Carson, apparently. You know, his father's out there to
Yep.
defend him. So whatever he's going to be doing, he'll follow suit. Like, there's a lot of people there and there's a lot of opportunity. So I don't know. I mean, that gives a lot for Denham to think in the future. But let's try to circle back to the match because after the words, there was a lot going on. It was a melee. There was, like I said, if I got the details wrong, I apologize. There was so much going on that it was hard to keep track of trying to break people apart. It was a little scary being in the ring with all those people. There's some big people. So I didn't want to get in the way, but you know, I'm a security guard. I have to. So
I was trying to count how many security guards we had out there, and they were still going at it.
yeah, it didn't matter. We could have had a million out there. I think that they would have still found a way to hit each other, you know?
They sure in the hell weren't listening to that bell.
No, you were ringing the hell out of that thing.
I had to do something. And I can jump out from a sound table and run over there real quick.
Well, I'm going to talk to Denham about that, and we'll get you a security guard shirt, and and we'll get you out there.
I think Denham needs to start issuing fines.
Well, I have to imagine that there might be a fine for the language at the very least.
If you go by the ding, 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 and you still keep going, that should be a fine. $500.
Fines. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, Denham watches, so he might take you up on that idea.
Fine
I don't know.
They listen to the bell. The bell's official. Once the official is done, the bell's done. The bell
Yeah,
even goes above the official.
that's true.
Because you got to ring
That
the
is,
bell before the match is over with, even if the official says it is.
yeah, that's true. That is
So
true.
they really need to listen to the bell.
Yeah, I agree.
And the official, of course. But the
Of
bell also.
course. Multiple things, right? Multiple things.
Yes.
So what do you think's next for T? I mean, we know Carson's future. He's the heavyweight champion, so there's going to be people challenging him for titles. We know
I
his
don't
futures. But what about TJ?
I don't even think we need to worry about titles, zero gravity, or anything like that with TJ. I think we need to worry about them coming in going for a 4-on-4. I see
You
it
think that?
coming in the future. It's not going to get skipped. That's going to happen. Let me rephrase. That is 100% going to happen.
Well, Denham, if you're watching, he's made it 100%. So he's making promises for you. So I
No,
hope
there's no way that it could not happen.
I find it hard to believe it doesn't myself. You know,
I see that happening before they go for any title shots.
probably you're probably right. You're right.
That's just what I think. I don't know.
Well, we know as of this moment, as of the minute we're recording this, we know that at Night of Champions, which is the next show, we know that hasn't been announced yet. So we know that at least. That doesn't mean it's
Yes.
not going to happen, of course.
Yeah,
But we
we
just
know
know
that hasn't been announced. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't even remember who all's been announced for that.
well, we'll get to it later. We'll get to it at the end of the show. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that might happen next. But hey, TJ, you know what? I have TJ if you're watching. I gotta say that takes some balls to go out there and wrestle Carson, and
Mm-hmm.
then after he dogs on you, to call him what you did and to get him back in there and to fight him. And you gave him a hell of a fight.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, all right. Anything else before we move on to the next match?
Nope.
All right. Next up, we have our women's champion, Paris McQueen, taking on the challenger, Sam and Slammy. Now, we know that these two have fought each other before. In fact, Sunman Showdown, we interviewed Paris McQueen after her match with Sam and Slammy. And did I say Sam and Slammy?
Yeah.
This is going to be a problem. What earlier when I was writing down names, I wrote down Sam and Slammy multiple times. So I apologize. I'm gonna have to get better.
Slamming Sammy.
Slamming Sam. We're just gonna call her Sammy for sake of me not calling her the wrong name.
I can't even say how you were saying it. Slamming Sammy.
Sam and Slammy. That's how I said it. Sam and Slammy. Slamming Sammy we interviewed Paris after her match with Slam and Sammy. So uh, this is the sequel, if you will, this match, but this time with a lot bigger implications. Now, of course, every match has big implications because if you win, you could be in line for a title shot. Yeah, we get that, but this match has a lot because the title is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam and Slammy, I did it again. Slam and Sammy could walk away. Slam and Sammy could walk away with a title, and she is relatively new.
Oh, yes, she is.
I believe that's the
She,
Sunman show was her like I don't want to speak out of tune here, so if I am, I apologize, but I believe she turned 19 years old on that show.
holy crap.
So she's and Paris McQueen's also very, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's very young also, but like these are two young up and comers, and the title could change hands. That's a huge, I mean, that's big.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Um, so the match did get happen. It was a good match back and forth. Both women very talented, of course. There was no there was no loss to Nelm.
Nope.
There
He
was
was gone.
no there was no also in her match against Shauna, there was just some guy who we still haven't really found out who that was. There was no some guy. Was there? I don't know. Did I miss the some guy?
No, I didn't see one.
I don't think so either. I believe that this was the man. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Paris McQueen was doing some underhanded tactics and whatnot, but there was no outside interference, and she was able to get the victory over Sammy. So Paris McQueen is still our champion. Of course, we know for her what's next. She's going to have a target on her back, very big. We actually do know directly what's next for her, happening at Night of Champions and in June for Legends and All Stars, which we'll get to later. But what do you think is next for Slamming Sammy?
For slamming Sammy. Let's see.
Yeah,
I
got a
think
loss here.
that obviously takes her back down.
In
So,
Sunman, she had a loss.
mm-hmm.
She was in
What?
the Battle Royal, and she lost that as well. So she's lost quite a bit. So she's obviously going to have to work her way back up the rankings.
Yeah, I was about to say she's probably gonna just work her way up the rankings and see where she goes from there. Because right now it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, but again, she's young. So
Yeah, I would say she
yeah,
could climb either really, really fast or really, really slow or slow or fast. I mean, it's hard telling at this
a
point.
lot of it, a lot of it's just experience and just getting out there. I mean, she had a title opportunity, and
Yep.
that's big for her. She took the champion to the limit. It looked like it could have went either way multiple times. So you know, who
Oh
knows?
yeah, easily.
Anything else you want to say before we move on?
Nope.
Outside of hey, I gotta say this because I am very critical of Paris. I will say this.
Oh god.
Congratulations on winning without help.
Uh huh.
There, I'll say something nice for once instead of always being super critical.
Still kind of dickish.
Well, I mean, there was still some stuff going on, but I mean, it was less than normal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
This next matchup, so Darren's going to be taking a quick little break, real quick. He's going to be using the bathroom. So I'll be taking this match solo for a minute. We have Paxton Calloway taking on Andrew Williams. So this match stems, of course, from Paxton Calloway taking on Carson Drake back in Milan. The winner of that match was Carson Drake due to a whole bunch of interference from people. We had interference from Paris McQueen. We had interference from Austin Elm. We had interference from Andrew Williams, and more specifically, the Andrew Williams one. He chased off, well, I shouldn't say chased off. He distracted Bobby Fulton, and Bobby Fulton chased Andrew Williams away. And so that is why these two are having a match against each other. Um, Andrew Williams, in a way, cost Paxton Calloway the title. Not directly necessarily, but I have a feeling that the revenge tour of Paxton Calloway is going to be swift and painful for everyone involved. And I had a little bit of a firsthand experience on this one because I was the referee for this matchup. Denham asked me if I wanted to referee a match. And I said yes, having no clue what match it would be. And he told me that it was going to be Paxton and Andrew Williams. And I told him, I said, listen, I know to stay out of Paxton Calloway's way, and I'll be good as long as I stay out of him and Bobby Fulton. If I stay out of their way, I should be okay. I should be safe. Um, And that's what I did. I went in there and I did my job, and I got to witness firsthand the power, the anger that is behind Paxton Calloway's eyes, his strikes, his slams, his holds, everything he was doing to Andrew Williams was done with the idea to hurt and to win. And that is exactly what he did. He was able to defeat Andrew Williams, even despite Lucy B. Sweet trying to interfere. Paxton Calloway said, "Hey, don't worry. I don't want a DQ. Let's just keep the match going." And he slammed Lucy B. Sweet on top of Andrew Williams and pinned them both, even though he only had to pin one. 1, 2, 3. Paxton Calloway gets the victory. Now, of course, Andrew Williams, back down the total poll for him, lost to Sergeant Ledbetter and Milan, pissed off Paxton Calloway and Bobby Fulton. It's going to be a long time until we see him get towards the top. Plus, is his buddy the champion right now, or is it just someone who paid him a lot of money? I'm not really sure what that relationship is, but um, that's something obviously that we'll have to keep an eye on. Um, and then for Paxton Calloway, I don't think he's really even worried about the title right now. I think he is worried about getting payback against those who have done him wrong, such as Austin Elm, possibly even Paris McQueen, and eventually Carson Drake. So if I were Carson Drake, I'd keep the eyes in the back of my head and just hope that you don't see Paxton coming to you, because Paxton is angry and he has every right to be. I mean, he was a great champion for over a year and lost his title in a bullcrap way. So we'll wait for Darren to come back, and when Darren comes back, we'll ask him his opinion, and then we'll be back. We'll wait for him. So we're back. We were just talking. I just got done reviewing Paxton Calloway and Andrew Williams. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Did you cover the part where he basically ran into the ring?
Ran into the ring. What do you mean?
Like, he didn't even slow down. He just speed walked straight to the ring, jumped in,
Who,
ready to go.
Paxton?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I said he was there to hurt.
yeah. He didn't even think about it. He just went straight in.
Well, he's on a revenge tour. It's the Paxton Calloway revenge tour.
Apparently, because he was not happy.
Hey, listen, I was in the ring when that happened. Remember, I was referee for this
Oh yeah,
match.
you were ref that one.
And I asked Denham. I already told them this story, but I'll tell you now that you're back. I said Denham asked me if I wanted to ref a match. I said sure, just let me know which one. It was a great opportunity to get to be a ref. I never thought I would be a ref. And he told me it was Paxton Calloway and Andrew Williams. And I told Denham, I said, well, I just know to stay out of Paxton Calloway's way.
Yep,
I'm
that's the
not
best
getting in
way
his
to
way
be.
right now. He's angry. And he's not going to stop until he gets to Carson. But I don't even think he's really worried about Carson right now. And don't get me wrong, he wants the title back, but he just wants to cause pain.
Yeah, the
That's what he
most
wants to
amount of
do.
pain.
So I already said that Andrew Williams he's lost quite a few matches now in a row, so he's going to have a long road ahead, and
Yeah,
Paxton's ready for revenge. I think that's really all. I don't think there's really any other opinions about how that has to play out,
no other way.
other than if you're someone in the locker room, stay out of Paxton Calloway's way.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
otherwise you might get stomped.
Yeah, yeah. Next matchup was an interesting one, and one that I'm ready to hear your opinions on. It was a zero gravity division matchup between the returning Dirty Daxie and the one and only Shauna Reed. What's
Um,
your opinion about Shauna Reed jumping divisions? It's been confirmed to me privately that Denham Blevins has said that she's kind of making the transition to zero gravity, at least for a temporary time being. It could be, who knows how far she'll go, but that's her plans of now. How do you feel about that?
it was definitely interesting,
Did you
but
expect that?
no. But
I mean, you
also
think
at the
you
same time, as a very how do you what do you word it? As a very competitive competitor, I don't doubt it, and I don't doubt she'll be in it in the future also.
well, and here's the thing, the way I'm looking at it is, and I don't know this for a fact because obviously we haven't had the pleasure of interviewing Shauna or really even talking to her off of, off to the side. Um, she's already won the women's title 3 times.
Yep.
So maybe this is just her way of saying, you know what, I've kind of already dominated that division. Let me see if I can do something else,
Unless
something
they
that
brought a
people don't
women's
think of.
tag division.
Well, yeah, and that, we we know that that is happening. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's been so I don't know. We'll see. I think with that might make her going to come back into the fold. That might make her one of, because Ari Alexander was supposed to be in Clarksville. She wasn't, and Shauna said she had a message for Ari. Do you think that that was like, hey, do you want to be a tag team? Like, let's go after this new title that is on the who knows? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's a big possibility.
It could be. So that's something to look out for. I mean, maybe, or that, or she, like I said, I think she just is done with the single women's title. And for the time being, because Ari wasn't there, because she doesn't have a partner, and let's be honest, Shauna doesn't have a lot of friends in the women's division because she's beat them all,
Yep,
or she's been rivals with them for so long. So why not go for the zero gravity
exactly.
and
Something
try in
that
that division?
be new.
Yeah.
Give
And
her a
hey,
competition.
yeah, and our old friend Dirty Daxley was here. We love Dirty Dax.
Yeah, I was wondering where in the hell he's been.
It's been forever since it's been at least, oh, man, has it been a year?
Almost. If
I
not,
mean, it
yeah, actually, it's been a year probably.
might be even over. No, you know what? He was there New Year's Eve, I think.
Was he?
But I don't think that I think we didn't have an opportunity to say anything to him, but I believe he was there. I could be wrong. I could be. You know what? Now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't think he was. But he was. It's been at least a year. I think
Yeah.
you're right. I think you were right the first time. I don't think he was there. I'm getting him and someone else
I was about to say I don't
confused.
remember him being there, so I don't know.
But he was there. It's been probably a year. I think the last time we seen him, he wrestled Justin Xavier. Does that sound right?
Yes.
For the title, and he lost. So, and now he has Shauna. And listen, I mean, Shauna's extremely talented. Dirty Dax, he's extremely talented. He's a multi-division guy. He's hardcore. We've seen him do tag. We've seen him do zero gravity, and now he has Shauna. And you have to imagine that the advantage here probably goes to Shauna. I know most people would probably say, "Oh, it's Dirty Dax," but probably goes to Shauna because Dirty Dax is probably going to underestimate Shauna, and Shauna's extremely talented, so that plays into her hands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
So, and this match was great. I mean, listen, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth in this match. Two extremely talented people. One kind of knows what zero gravity is all about, and the other, she's extremely talented, and she's going to learn quick.
Oh yeah.
And she did. You know, she knew that there was going to be some tricks Dirty Daxter was going to try to pull. She didn't fall for all of them, and she was able to get the victory. So, do you think, Darren, there's a chance that Shauna Reed could be the zero gravity champion here in Battle on the Border?
I do. Very much so.
I agree.
She's a very, very strong competitor. I think there's a very good chance that she could take zero gravity easily.
Yeah, and listen, we a little bit more behind the scenes info here. Like, she did a seminar earlier in the day, and getting to watch her. Listen, she's extremely talented. She doesn't show half of what she knows
She was on
in
you
the
guys
ring.
like a drill sergeant.
She was, and you know why? Because she knows what she's doing. She knows her
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
And listen, if anybody in that division takes her for granted or uses, I don't know if this is the case, and I don't want to try to get in trouble here, but if you're a guy and you're facing a woman, if you think, oh, this is just a woman, ha ha ha, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah. Very
You're gonna have to
easily.
go in there
10
and
out of
realize
10
this is Shauna Reed, probably the most, obviously the most decorated uh woman on the roster, and one of the most talented. So I think, you know, don't underestimate her, is all I'm gonna say.
Yep. That's for sure.
Mm. We know what's next for Dirty Daxy, so we'll wait to talk about that when we get there. But I'm going to move on now to the Zero Gravity Championship matchup between Avery Hertz, who's been the champion since New Year's Eve when he defeated Justin Xavier. We've seen a new side of Avery Hertz, a more dangerous side of Avery Hertz, dare I say, take on Marion Fontaine. Now,
And
Darren, how
boy,
do
do
you
I
feel?
like his entrance.
I was going to say, how did you feel about this? Because you're a fan of both of them.
I really liked his entrance.
Are you laying down doing this right now?
Yeah, I'm getting comfy. Screw all that.
Screw looking professional. I'm laying down. I'm being comfortable.
I was trying to look professional, but I can't do that. It's a
We're
live
doing the same.
podcast.
It is a little weird talking to you while I'm sitting on my bed and you're laying on yours. This feels like a very intimate podcast.
It's bed talk.
Yeah, I've rename the podcast to Bed Talk.
But no,
Um, no,
I
but how do
really
you
like
feel about this?
I like his entrance, and I like those two competing against each other. It's always a good match when they're both in the same ring.
I agree. And something about Marion Fontaine, he calls himself like the best semi-professional wrestler,
Yeah.
something roughly like that. Or and Avery Hurst, like I said, we've seen a different side of him, a more vicious and dare I say a little bit darker. So I used to call himself the dark horse. He kind of is a little bit more dark, as you can see. My dog has jumped up on the bed here with me. He's been laying in the bathroom for a while. Now he's up here and he's joined. So
Huh.
that'll get some views right there. Just let him jump up there and see everyone see him.
Hello, doggo.
Um, yeah. Um,
What's his name? Jake?
Jake, yeah.
I call him
Um,
a bigger version of Marley.
yeah, he does look like a bigger version of your dog. He's huge. He's huge. I don't know if you can really tell how big he is because he kind of blends in with the blankets here, but he's a big dog. And he's probably wore out. He's all tuckered out because he ran. You ran a lot, didn't you today? Ran away from me a lot, huh? You were running towards the main road.
Maybe he wanted to be splat.
I had to be a stern father there real quick. His mom's gone now. All of a sudden, he's acting out. That's why we're doing this over the internet because I was running late because this guy decided to be a Kentucky Derby horse for
Every
an
kid
hour.
ever, every dog ever when they
Yeah.
get free.
Yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, back to this match. Marion Fontaine, very talented, despite the fact he calls himself like the best semi-professional wrestler of all time, or one of the best. And Avery Hurts, he was trying to like catch up to Marion Fontaine almost. Avery Hurts is very talented. We're huge. Well, I was a huge fan of him. You're still a huge fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this matchup, I agree with you earlier. You said you were really looking forward to this one. I was also really looking forward to this one. And man, they did not disappoint. Now you're laying down. Hey, listen, whatever, get comfortable.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna be
We only
uncomfy.
we only have one more match after this one, and then some announcements and predictions and stuff to
I
make.
ain't
So,
sitting in the studio, so I can do what I want.
um, so no, but yeah, a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of stuff going on. However, this matchup, there was Avery Hurts has gotten some wins via being a little bit underhanded. And he got caught this time. Now, he hasn't been caught in the past. Now, Darren, you can roll your eyes, but hey, this finally cost him a match. It doesn't really matter too much because he retains the title, but he did hit Avery Hurts with, I believe, again, a lot has happened since, but I believe it was his briefcase. Ref saw it.
I didn't know Avery Hurts could hit Avery Hurts with the briefcase.
Oh, Jesus. Avery Hurts hit Marion Fontaine with the
Holy shit!
briefcase. Harris hit Marion Fontaine with the briefcase. And because of that, Marion Fontaine did win. However, he did not win the title because titles do not change hands on disqualification. So still champion Avery Hurts. However, he lost because of disqualification. So I've called him out a lot on his cheating. How do you feel that he finally got caught?
I feel like it sucks, but I also feel like it's kind of stupid. Like it's kind of a stupid rule that they can't change hands, because clearly the other person did something wrong. So I feel like the title
Right.
should still be able to change hands.
You would think that it would, but you have to win via pinfall or submission, right?
Where's the rules?
Denham makes the rules. Ask him
Show
to
me
show
the
you the
book.
rule book. Well,
Let's see the
we'll get
book.
him on. We'll get him on the podcast, and we'll tell him to show you the book.
When I started doing sound, I didn't get a handbook, employee handbook.
I'm a
So as far
security
as I
guard,
know,
and I
there
don't.
are no rules.
Well, the referee employee is the one that has the rule book, maybe.
Well, how does he know what the rules are when nobody gets a rule book?
Well, maybe they get a rule book. I didn't get a rule book when I was referee. I can't say that anymore. I was
Well,
going to
there you
say,
go.
listen, I just was trying not to get on Paxton's bad side, was all I was trying to do. But anyway, listen, point is, it doesn't change hands. I have to imagine, and I think you also have to imagine that Marion Fontaine is going to want a rematch.
Well, yeah.
However, though, Paxton Calloway, or gosh, Jesus, not Paxton Calloway. If he got in the zero gravity division, I think they'd all be screwed. TJ
That title will
Fury.
be taken very quick.
TJ Fury, on the other hand, was on the outside of this match, just like he was in Milan. He was in the match in Milan, but he's been in Avery Hertz's, he stole the briefcase and the title, and he was running around with it, and now he's doing the same thing where he's TJ's has to be in line for a match at some point. You would have to imagine he got himself involved in
Yeah,
this match, if I remember correctly, trying to help Marion Fontaine. So
he should be the
I
one next in this match.
I think either Marion gets a rematch first, or you throw TJ in there as well, and you have Avery, TJ, and Marion all fight each other. Because then, if it's a triple threat, then there are no rules. You just have to win by pinfall or submission, but weapons can be used, which plays into to Avery's hand. But he's pissed off TJ and Marion so much they might go grab weapons.
I mean, they could. I mean, it's
I
legal.
mean, if that's yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's next, but have to imagine that for their story between these two aren't done, and TJ is going to win a title match soon as well. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Anything else you have to say before we move on to our main event?
Yep.
So our main event is a number one contender for the hardcore title match between Big Sherm and Ethan Evans. And we saw Big Sherm make his BOTB debut back in Clarksville. Not in Clarksville. We're in Clarksville, in Morrow. Sorry, in Morrow. And now he's taking on Ethan Evans, who has been one of the more, I would say, people really want to hate on Ethan Evans a lot and say that he's this, that, and the other. And you can say a lot about Ethan, but what you can't say is he's not tough.
Yeah.
He's
He's brutal.
been one of the most surprising hardcore guys of recent. And Big Sherm, Ethan Evans, they didn't cross paths back at the hardcore tournament, but we have a new champion now in Jeff King, who beat Hooks in Milan. Ethan really doesn't like Hooks, or doesn't like Jeff, the
Mm-mm.
champion, and neither does Big Sherm. Big Sherm doesn't like him because Big Sherm lost to Jeff back in Morrow. So Jeff has a target on his back no matter who wins this matchup. Who did you think was going to win going into this?
Definitely Ethan Evans.
Did you see? I didn't want Ethan to win because he's held a pizza cutter to my neck before, and he's attacked me multiple times at the training center, and I will always root against him no matter who he faces. He could be facing uh, someone I really hate. I don't want to name names. Hey, acting like I'm Jake's acting like I'm an inconvenience. He's trying to get sleep, and he's acting like I'm an inconvenience. He got up in my face there a second ago.
Well, he's
He could
telling
be
you to
facing
quiet down a little bit.
he could be facing anybody, and I'd always rooting for the other person. Doesn't even Benjamin Chimera, even someone like Ben, who has been talking a lot of trash about the training center and um, my trainer and my girlfriend and her family and her school, and basically called my girlfriend a slut. Like I would even still probably root for Benjamin Chimera over Ethan Evans. That's how much I hate him. So I was rooting for Big Sherm. However, Ethan Evans did get the victory here. It was a hard. I mean, man, listen, we don't talk about everything that happens in matches for a reason.
Yep.
This match was crazy, though. It's a
Yeah,
hardcore
it's
match, so you know it was
bloodbath.
crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on too. Denham Blevins went to go and throw a chop, and his knee gave out, and we had to baby him. And there was just so much going on. It was absolute pandemonium. Your thoughts on this? So that means that at some point, Ethan will be taking on Jeff for the hardcore title. It hasn't been announced for Night of Champions yet. Who do you think wins in the match against Ethan and Jeff? We already know that in the match between these two before Jeff has won, the title wasn't on the line then. Who do you think wins when the title's on the line and it matters most?
Um, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be a close call, but I think Ethan Evans is gonna get it right at the snitching end.
Now, listen, I obviously have a horse in this race. I'm rooting for Jeff. For one,
Well, yeah.
I know him personally. I'm dating his daughter, and I hate Ethan Evans so much. So I'm going to have to root for Jeff. Has the experience, has the size, has the crowd on his side no matter where he goes, especially against someone like Ethan.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be good. And then as far as Big Sherm goes, what does he have to do? Two losses now in BOTB. What does he have to do in order to get back on the winning side of things?
I would assume go work on himself and climb back up like everybody else does.
Do you think he should stay in hardcore? Or do you think he should maybe move to a different division? Because listen, Big Sherm got hardcore in this match.
You were
There's no doubt. I mean,
buffering.
he got hardcore in this match. Big Sherm did.
Oh yeah, I don't think he should leave hardcore division at all.
No,
No,
I was
I
gonna say I think he could do it one time. It's just that maybe he has to unlock something in his brain like Ethan did and get a little bit crazier.
Mm-hmm.
But he could be again young in his career here in Battle on the Border. So wins are out there. He just has to go and seize them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that would be Clarksville Chaos 2. Darren, overall, Clarksville, great show. I enjoyed it a lot. Can't wait to go back next year. Hopefully next year more people will come out again. That was
Hopefully
WrestleMania
WWE's not on the same weekend.
WrestleMania weekend. So thank you to all the fans who did come because It was a great show, and it was better than WrestleMania. There, I said it.
Yep.
WrestleMania Night One stunk. I watched it the next day. It was terrible. You didn't miss. You chose that over Battle on the Border. Don't do that again. Big mistake.
Yep.
In Clarksville, it might be a little bit of a haul for some people, but it's worth it. Again, the show was really good. It was
It's
really
only
good
an hour.
from us, and we're as far away as you can get.
Well,
It was an hour and a
yeah.
half for me, and that's really not that. I mean, I'm about to be driving to West Virginia for a wrestling show, so I mean,
Oh
what do
yeah,
you
you
think
are
that?
going to West Virginia.
Yeah, that's going to lead. That was a nice segue into our announcements. So overall, Clarksville, you enjoyed it. Anything you wanted to say about Clarksville?
Nope.
Good job on the sound. Sound sounded great. You didn't mess
Thank
up
you.
anybody's entrances with the speakers going out or anything. So
Good job on the
it's,
refereeing.
it's still. Oh, thank you. Maybe that'll happen in the future. I don't know. Maybe I'll be in there refereeing him, Jeff and Ethan. Who knows?
Oh, go
I'll
sign
call it down.
yourself up for something.
I'll call it down the middle. Listen, I ain't gonna. I don't. I might have sides on here, but if I'm in that ring, I'll call it down the middle. Don't
Darren
don't
picks
worry
the
about that.
podcast. Derek is a one sider.
You do yell at referees a lot on here.
I
I'm
do.
surprised you didn't have anything. Were you critical of me in my match at all?
I thought you did pretty all right. You stayed pretty well out the fucking way.
Well, you want to get in Paxton Calloway's way?
I wouldn't blame you either if you did.
So, real quick, some things that we have some announcements before we jump into the show. We'll keep these kind of quick.
Before we jump in, I thought we just reviewed the show.
Or preview the next show. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait a
Before we
minute.
before we no, that was all just fake. I just made all that stuff up.
Oh
No,
yeah, yeah, totally.
before we preview the next show. First off, we went to Square Circle Expo. Darren, how did you feel about Square Circle Expo? We might, if people like this format, we might, or we can do it in person, but we might do a podcast at some point about Square Circle Expo. But what was your big takeaways from that? I enjoyed it a lot.
I liked it. I think we should definitely ramp up our advertisement. It's a learning curve.
Yeah, it is a learning curve for sure. And listen, I mean, it was a good. We had Shane Douglas at our table, Paxton Calloway, Rob Conway. Huge shout out to those three for being
Oh yeah.
there, and it was great to talk to Shane. And Shane loves talking.
I think
Um,
my coolest experience was sitting with all them guys.
yeah, and then getting to talk to Rob Conway, and
Yeah.
you told me a story about how you were learning wrestling shows work, like you were learning how wrestling shows work with
Yeah,
them.
he was kind of giving me little snippets, and I just thought it was interesting, like the type of stuff that over the years you learn. It's
Yeah,
it's wild.
and then Paxton, listen, he was a little bit down. He wasn't super talk. He had just lost the title, so we stayed
Yeah,
out of his way. We stay well out of his way.
he was still talking to me though. Maybe he
Yeah,
just don't.
well, I don't want to think about that. I hope he likes me because, if I have referee a match again, or this wrestling school works out, and if I have a match against him, I don't want to show some
Oops.
mercy on me. Yeah,
I
I've always talked good about him, so I don't know why he wouldn't like me. But
don't know.
a huge shout out to all those wrestlers that were there. Denim, my girlfriend Angela was there. You were there. I was there. It was a great time. If you did come out and you said hi to us, thanks for doing that. If you bought something from our tables, thank you for doing that. And we'll be there hopefully next year. I enjoyed it a lot. Coming up now, I'm going to be rattling off a lot of dates and times here. So get your pen and pencils out, or you can rewind and listen. But we have a lot of shows coming up. So of course, we have May 17th, Cleves, Ohio, Night of Champions. That is our next show. That is, as of the day we're recording this, just a couple of days away. So
Hmm.
make sure you're there. It's at the Rivers Edge Indoor Sports Complex. Then May 26th, which is Memorial Day. Yes, that is a Monday. We're going to be in Parkersburg, West Virginia. BOTB finally making its debut in West Virginia. We're going to be doing a show along with a wrestling company called Legit Alternative Wrestling Law. We'll do a review on that as well, Darren. You won't be there for that show.
Yep, I will not.
Um, I will be. It's going to be from my understanding from the poster, from the looks of it, it's going to be I know the Kings are going to be there. Ledbetter will be there, Ethan will be there, and I will be there. I don't know if anyone else will be, but don't worry, we'll do a review about that show and we'll talk about it. Then after that, we have
What?
Legends and All Stars, which is June 7th in Milan, Indiana at the Milan VFW.
Yep.
Then we have Friday shows. We have Friday, June 20th in Lawrenceburg, Indiana at the Lawrenceburg Event Center, Border Clash, which is a show with APW. So a lot of people out there who watch this probably have heard of or have been to an APW show. It is a joint show with APW. It's going to be a student showcase show. There's going to be other matches as well that don't involve students, but there's going to be students there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really love the fact that the Lawrenceburg Event Center is something that we can say that we've wrestled at. So very excited about that one. Will you be at that one, Darren? Have you figured that out if you're going to be at
Uh,
Friday shows or not?
so the Friday shows are tough because I do work till 5:30, maybe 6, or even 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I will
Well,
have to let you know the closer we get.
right,
I
right.
definitely
And
can't
then
take off work to go.
no,
That
I
I
don't
do
blame you.
know.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you
But
there.
yeah,
And
I do
then
work in the evenings, so or not. I don't
new,
work in the evening anymore, but later in the
yeah, but
afternoons.
I got you. I was just asking since I had you. And then Friday, June 27th. So we're rounding out June here. We have our debut in Batesville, Indiana. That is my hometown, and that is a show at New Horizons, which is a place that helps adults with special needs learn skills and
Puts them to work.
puts them to work and stuff. And they're going to be a match. I believe the show, and I could be wrong here, but I do believe the show from Facebook that I've seen is called Inclusion in the Ring. So tickets will go on sale for those shows, obviously, as they get closer. But again, we have a lot of Saturday shows coming up and then two Friday shows. We'll talk more about those as they get closer. Also, today, Battle on the Borders Facebook page posted that they have new merch that'll be available. We're just completely shelling out for Battle on the Border here. Um, New merch available here on the May 17th show, which is a new BOTB shirt and bracelet that's going to be coming out. So, last thing we have to do here, Darren, then we'll wrap up. We're going to be previewing Night of Champions 9, I believe it is. Cleves, Ohio, May 17th, Rivers Edge Indoor Sports Complex. First off, we'll talk about the Golden Ticket Rumble. Now, remember, Golden Ticket Rumble, if you win, you get a golden ticket and you can cash it in on any champion at any time, anywhere to win. The last winner was Eric Surge. He was unsuccessful. He never cashed it in, to my knowledge, and so he has lost his golden ticket. But
Yep.
some people in the past have cashed it in and been successful. I believe the success rate is above 50%, but it's not 100%. So, real quick, Darren, we don't know everybody who's in it, but I'm going to run down the names that we do know, and we'll talk about whether or not you think they have a chance afterwards. So as of now, the people who are confirmed are Bam Bam Bundy, Sergeant Ledbetter, Ethan Evans, Piper GK Fam, Benjamin Chimera, TJ Fury, potentially Savion. How many of those names did you hear?
Uh, all of them except for the one before Savion.
Cody Travers.
Oh,
And
all right.
possibly Savion. Battle on the Borders Facebook page kind of just posted a picture of Savion, so I'm not 100% sure about that. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm just going to speculate and include them in case. So out of those names, because we can't speculate on who else is in it, out of those names, who do you think is going to win? Who has the best chance?
It's got to be Bam Bam Bundy.
You think so? We haven't
He
seen
is
Bam Bam
bigger
Bundy in a
and
while.
tougher than every person that's on that.
Well, as much as I dislike him, Benjamin Chimera is on this list, and
I
he's
don't
big
know.
and
Bam
tough.
Bam Bundy's bigger than Benjamin Chimera, I think.
Yeah, but then you have someone like Sergeant Ledbetter who has, I think, successfully cashed one in the past. I could be wrong about
See,
that. If I
I
am, I
think they're going
apologize.
to
He's
tag.
also been unsuccessful.
I think they're going to tag. They're going to uh, take sides and get Ledbetter out first.
Yeah, probably. Listen, I mean, that's probably right. No, I'm not trying to bring up drama here, but listen, I'm a part of the Wednesday class. Benjamin Chimera is part of the Monday class, and he has it out against us. And it's getting to the point now where I'm getting a little bit irritated by it. You know what I mean? I
Well,
think I've
tell
told
him
you about
about it and
this.
see what he responds.
I'm getting a little irritated about it because it's just constantly always dogging my trainer and the class. And it's just, I just hope Ledbetter wins, or at least at the very least, if I'm gonna say him but I do like Piper GK Fam a lot too, but he's my trainer, so I have to go with Ledbetter here. At the very least, I hope he eliminates Benjamin Chimera. That's what I hope.
I think you guys need to have just an all-out student-teacher brawl.
Well, listen,
Let all the
eh,
students from one team and let all students from the other team get in the ring with the teachers, and just brawl it out, and then find out who the better training class is.
I'm just listen, if Chimera, if he keeps, he's talking about my girlfriend already too. Like, there's a lot of things that just like I don't know. We'll see. Is all I got to say. I kind of talked to you about it. I'm not going to really go into a lot of details here on air, but I know I see because I've been training. I kind of know why wrestlers don't say a lot, but just everyone know. Just and I'm sure Benjamin Chimera, if he watches, if you're watching, we'll see. That's all I got to say. There's a lot of things that he
We'll
said that
see.
I just gotta keep him back in my mind. I don't know. Anyway, back moving on. Who's your pick? Is that your pick? Is that your pick? Is Bam Bam Bundy?
Yeah, of course it does.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. Neither is Ben. Listen, and that's another thing. So I want to make clear. Ben's extremely talented, and I appreciate the fact that he's in battle on the border and training the next generation. It's just that why do you got a dog on my trainer, dog on me? I'm in the class, and then my girlfriend, and it's like,
Yeah, he's got to do what he does best.
yeah. He could win. He really could, honestly. But Ben's extremely talented. Now, not taking anything away from him at all. But moving on, before I get too heated, we
He's gonna
have
go wound up.
we have Bryant Huff versus Nick Hamrick in the heavyweight division. We've seen Bryant Huff before. He was a zero gravity guy then. Now he's beefed up to be the heavyweight, and he's taking on Nick Hamrick. I don't know who Nick Hamrick is by name. I
Yeah,
apologize if that's rude of me. But who do you have in this? Do you have any opinions?
Brian Huff. I don't know.
Right,
Uh,
just because you don't know Nick Hamrick,
yeah,
really.
I'm not real sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one, just because I don't know Nick very well. Then we have Cody Travers and Travis Profit taking on the Tennessee Fight Club. Now, I do know a little bit about the Tennessee Fight Club just because of that extremely great promo that they put on there on Facebook. That little
Yeah,
the
that
little
was a pretty cool promo.
that was cool. So I'm rooting for them just because that was old school, and I really like seeing that, and I hope they win because I want them to stick around. So.
Yeah, me too.
Not a huge fan of them dogging on the Reds,
Eh.
but Then we have a contract signing. Paris McQueen will sign the contract against the King Militia, which is Missy King, my girlfriend Angela King. It'll be a contract signing. Contract signings in wrestling always go well. Nothing ever happens during contract signings. No one goes through tables. There's never any brawls. There's never any hard feelings. There's never any punches thrown. I'm sure this one will follow the suit.
Oh yeah, not at all.
But will we find out who Paris McQueen's mystery partner is? And if so, who do you think it is? Have you
That's
thought
a
about
hard
that at
one.
all?
Not really. I'm not sure.
See, Paris McQueen doesn't have a lot of friends either.
No.
And she's going to be facing a mom and daughter. So
I don't know. Maybe she brings Shauna Reed to the table.
maybe we've talked about that in the past where Paris maybe tells Shauna, like, hey, I'll give you another shot if you help me with the King Girls. I mean, who knows?
Yep.
Then up next, we have Dirty Daxie and the returning Dirtbag Dan in a hardcore match. Who do you think wins? Who do you think takes this one? It's for the hardcore division. Who do you think wins?
I think Dirty Daxie's going to show his true hardcore and go. I think he's going to take it over on Dirtbag Dan.
Do you see Dirtbag Dan's is the message that he sent the fans?
I have not watched it yet. No, I was going to watch it today.
I would check it out afterwards because he you know hasn't been around for a while and there's a lot of reasons why, and he kind of expressed his frustrations about people being upset with him. I listened to it and he's coming in with a lot of chip on his shoulder is all I'm going to say. So
Oh,
Dirty
fair
Dax, you
enough.
better be ready. And then up next, we have this is the final match as of the day of recording this that we have an announcement of. So, this is the final match. It is the Dungeon taking on Walker the Eighth, I believe. It was Walker VIII. So, I believe it's Walker 8 or Walker the Eighth and Brandon White or Brendan White, maybe. Brandon or Brendan. But who do you think wins this one? It's for the
Football.
tag titles. The Dungeon.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Dungeon also because I don't know the other two. So. I'm excited though. The match, like I said, it's less than a week away. I'm excited. Night of Champions is always a big one. So make sure you come out and support the indie wrestlers here.
Oh, for sure.
But if that's all you got to say, if that's it, Darren, I think we'll end this one. If there's anything you wanted to promote or anything you wanted to do,
Nope.
I will say this: we do. If you're looking back at our videos throughout the years, because I did this earlier throughout the year, we started off hot with 2 interviews, and we've kind of simmered down since with none. We are going to get back to interviewing people,
Yes.
even potentially with this the way that we did this podcast, we might be able to interview people, but I do want to do in-person interviews, and I have a couple lined up that I'll tell you about, Darren, or not lined up, but people that I would like to interview that I'll tell you about as we get closer to the show. But
Okay.
hopefully we'll get back to doing some interviews, and if this works, if you guys like this setup, we might go back to doing weekly podcasts
Oh, for sure.
because
This
now
would
we
be
don't have
easy.
to. Yeah, we don't have to worry about getting back together. Now you can stay and bake cakes and use the bathroom and do whatever you want, and you don't have to stop the recording.
And I get comfy.
And you can get comfortable. You're laying down in bed. You're looking all comfortable. Well, we're going to rename this Bed Talk if you keep it up.
We renamed this bed dog.
All right. Well, if that's it, then you can just follow us on Instagram, the_D_podcast on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok, the Podcast one. We have a tweet. You can follow me on Twitter, DJDub00. And of course, like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and family.
Oh, for sure.
And comment down below what your favorite match of the night was, or the match you're looking forward to the most, or whatever else you want to comment on. It helps us a lot
Or if
with.
you want us to interview somebody.
Yeah, if you want us to interview somebody, let us know who, and we'll try to get it figured out. So if that's all we have, if that's all you have, I think that we're done for this one.
Alrighty.
All right, we will see you guys. Bye.
Bye.